Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review, and today's review is going to be on Shattered Glass Collection Blurr. Now, if you don't know what Shattered Glass is, basically it's an alternate universe where the Autobots are evil and the Decepticons are heroic. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I personally quite like it. And we got Blurr in this really cool looking black, dark blue, and lightning bolts. And if you can hear that, it's just pounding with rain outside. But yeah. Now, of course, before we look at the figure, we have to look at the packaging. And this gives us a chance to look at a new type of packaging for the channel. So the Shattered Glass Collection figures come in this type of box. I mean, it does look flattened, but, well, that's actually how it's supposed to be. So we got a picture of Blurr's face here. I mean, look, he's got an eye patch. That should show you that this guy is evil. Got his name here. Got an Autobot insignia, just all shattered. I'm not funny. Got Blurr here on this side. Got Blurr on the other side. The back, got them in both modes. Got an actual description of the character, which is actually very rare these days. Especially seeing how Legacy's got the QR codes now. And well, that's basically it for the box. Also included, well, at least if you buy from Hasbro Pulse, you get a comic book, which is rather cool. So if you like comics, then there you go. Not gonna spoil the story here, but that's not the only cover you get. I also have this one, which is basically a close-up of Blurr's face. Pretty sure this is meant to homage a G2 comic. I only say that because I also have the other comics, and some of them homage some of the Marvel comics. Like, there's one where Goldbug is doing the Galvatron arms up pose, and one where there's Jetfire holding Starscream's head, and that's basically homaging the G2 comic where Megatron's holding Bludgeon's head. So I'm pretty sure this is meant to homage a Marvel G2 comic. But well, onto the figure. And it's Studio Series Blurr in Shattered Glass colors. And well, if you didn't know, Shattered Glass is not a new thing. It actually started out as a BotCon thing, so this is not Shattered Glass Blurr's first toy. Of course, I don't have the OG Shattered Glass Blurr figure because I'd have to be really rich to own it, but basically the OG Shattered Glass Blurr was the Cybertron figure, but in these colors. I don't know, I think it makes more sense for him to be the G1 body, but in these colors, because, you know, it's meant to be a mirror universe of G1 mostly. But well, just taking a look at the figure, I think these colors really work for an evil version of Blurr. I mean, it's basically like a darkened version of the original Blurr color scheme. And the rain is just pounding down outside. I mean, seriously. So, if anything, I could have picked a better figure to review, because if anything, the lightning's basically was probably going to happen today. But, well, looking at the details, of course we have the lightning that I keep talking about. Got some added paint here for the silver. Got an Autobot insignia right in that little bit of translucent plastic. Got the underneath here. Of course, pretty much no cable aside from the feet, but oh well. And unfortunately, as I mentioned with Studio Series Blurr in his review, there's no wheels. I mean, granted, this is meant to be a hover car, but still, the Tiny Return figure had wheels, so... oh well. Now, for weaponry... well, of course, we've got his gun. This time cast in a grey plastic. And of course, we still have the Welding Torch, which... I can't remember if he used this in, like, the comic or not, because... from what I remember, I think he only appeared in one of the 5 Shot Glass comics. I'm not going to reveal what happened to him, you'll have to read to find out. But I don't think he used this. I think they just gave him this out of, like, mold necessity. I don't know. But of course, these can still store onto him. If you want to have this look going on. I mean, sure. But yeah, it does look a bit silly. If there was a way to have it, like, plug into there, maybe. I mean, sure, it would cover the seat, but it's a Cybertronian vehicle. Who would be sitting in there? Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about the vehicle mode. So, for comparison, here he is with his heroic counterpart. So we can see all the color differences. And, come on, it's basically night and day. I mean, you can see, like, some added silver here. G1 Blurr's, I guess, windshield is this nice clear color, whereas this guy's got this orange. So I guess this guy's got, like, Sprite, well, this guy's got Fanta. Once again, some added silver. More added silver. Of course, the added lightning. And as I mentioned, the white weapon from the Studio Series figure is now grey on the Shattered Glass version. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the comparison. Now, to get onto the transformation, well, it's basically the same as the Studio Series figure. But well, let's just get onto that. So to start, I'm just going to tilt my phone up. That part is obviously optional. To start, we're just going to untap the sides. Get them out. Open up the legs. Swing them around. Unpeg them. Get a little, I guess, fin section in, I guess. Like this bit. Close up the legs. And there are little ratchets. Push in the seat. Rotate the windshield down. Get the arms down so you can push in these sections. Then just plug these in. Have the front section there. Rotate these sections here. Get them down. Then get the arms down. And here we have Blurr in his robot mode. And right off the bat, Hasbro's crappy QC strikes again. Usually I'm quite lucky with Hasbro's QC, but not this time. Now, I have seen that this is a widespread issue, so yeah. If I had like floor polish, then I could fix this easily, but that's the thing. I don't. I know, I could just be an amateur and put blue tack there, but yeah. So for the rest of the video, you're just gonna have to deal with me either cursing this and just having to constantly finagle it, or just it drooping like that. But well, aside from that, having a 360 of the figure, of course, it does look pretty good in these colors. I mean, look at the head. I mean, come on, that is a beautiful head sculpt. I mean, that definitely looks like an evil version of Blurr. I mean, come on, he's got an eye patch. How he lost his eye, I don't know. I don't think it was ever explained, not even in the original, like, Fun Pub stories. Maybe it was, not sure, but it wasn't explained in the comic that came with this figure. But yeah. Now, of course, we can give him his accessories. So we've got the gun and a little welding torch, which does actually stop the drooping a little bit. So this is pretty much the best fix if you don't want to do the floor polish thing. And if anything, it kind of works with Blurr, because if anything, like, it kind of looks like Ratchet just put a welding torch right on his hand or something. Or, like, you could repurpose it as an oil can or something. So, even if it doesn't actually appear in the comic, it does actually work. And of course, you can just put a blast effect on there. Although, seeing how this guy is meant to be evil, I think we should actually put a more appropriate colored blast effect on there. There we go. And of course, for comparison with the Studio Series Blurr, we just give him his accessories. Well, they definitely toned down like the white / gray. You can definitely see that. However, something else that they did is they also retooled the head. Like, they didn't just retool the head slightly to give him an eye patch. They completely gave him a new head sculpt, which I think looks better than the Studio Series head. I mean, come on, that's just a weird looking head. Whereas this has personality. So, ironically, Shattered Glass Blurr, in my opinion, actually looks better than the Studio Series figure. I mean, like, these colors are just working for me. Now for the articulation, I'm just gonna have to remove these and go back to the loose arm pauldron, unfortunately. While the head can look up and down, I can turn side to side. So you can get a bit of a motion from the head. The arms are, I guess, faux ratchets, but they can move. Of course, you can T-pose. It's got elbows, which can swivel. The hands can also rotate, although these move with the hands. The waist can rotate. Legs can go forward. It can go back that far. It's got knee joints. The entire leg can swivel. It's got ankle pivots up to there. And if you want to, you can, I guess, move the foot forward, although that's more for the transformation. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this figure. So, complaints. Well, definitely this piece right here. I mean, I don't know if it's like mold degradation or what. Like mold deterioration, I don't know what the actual term is. Or if it's just like poor QC, because my Studio Series Blurr does not have that issue. Oops, I bumped the table by accident. But like with this being a widespread thing with most Shadowglass Blurs, from what I'm guessing, I'm gonna go with this is a mold deterioration issue, possibly. But it's still annoying. So, but if you do have like floor polish, or if you're just lazy and use blue tack, it is fixable. Or if you just give them like this hand sanitizer weapon. But other than that, do I recommend this figure? Well, if you're a fan of the Shattered Glass series, then absolutely. This figure looks amazing. I mean, seriously, the colors are awesome. The eye patch is a real nice touch. If anything, the only thing that brings it down is just that, like, loose bits, but as I said, it is kind of fixable, but, well, you know, still a shame that you sort of had to fix the figures yourself instead of Hasbro. But, as I said at the beginning, Shattered Glass isn't really for everyone. And unlike some other Shattered Glass adjacent figures, well, you can't really repurpose this as anyone, like, you know, the upcoming Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus. You can repurpose it as Delta Magnus. Whereas with this is strictly Shattered Glass Blurr, and no one else. So if you're not a fan of Shattered Glass, then, yeah, not really, but if you do like Shattered Glass, then I definitely do recommend this figure. And well, this has been my review on Shattered Glass Blurr, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.